Nice to meet you. And so we're going to get into the best years of Harley Sportsters to build. Now I'm going to come out and say it, in my opinion, the best years are probably the later Sportster years. So that would be anywhere from 91 to 03. Now that's because the 91 to 03 have 5-speed transmissions, but the one difficulty that you'll have with this is that the motors are belt drives, so you're going to have to buy a chain conversion, and we're going to get into that. I have some notes written here talking about all the differences. So we're going to talk about the difference between the early and the late frames. So the later frames, which came after came in 1984, they're a much thicker tubing construction, better designed, and they have a lot more rigidity, which when you're going to hardtail something, the rigidity of the frame definitely makes a difference. And also 1987, which is before the years that I prefer, also came with a 39 millimeter front end. So that front end will outperform any 35 millimeter. So, and also there's a lot more parts and hardtails available for the 1984 and later frames, which is very nice. So the different years of the motors, differences in the motors and that type of stuff is 1974 is the last year for left side shift. So if you're used to riding dirt bikes, anything newer, Harleys, I would recommend not getting anything before 1974. 1985 is the last year of the iron head, which this motor right here, off frame, is a 1985, and it has an Evo bottom end. So basically it has an oil filter mounted on the motor. The generator, alternator, is inside the clutch basket. So there's that added reliability. The 4-speeds were up until 1991. So you gain a lot with the 1992 and later motors just because you get that extra gear. You're not screaming when you're in 4th gear. I mean, these bikes aren't built for speed, but they are definitely built to be able to cruise, and it's nice to have 5th gear. So we also have head vents, which is in the later years, so you're going to have to deal with that. You can just get little breathers. They sell them on TC Brothers and all the other places. Also, there's nothing that can replace an iron head in coolness factor, but you can really get these Evos to where they run like a brand new bike, no problems whatsoever. Put a CV carb on them, they run, it's great. There's also a lot more reliability with the Evos, and they do share a lot of parts with the newer stuff, so you can go to your Harley dealership and buy parts for your Evo Sportster, which is very nice to have. And also, everybody likes power. We all like power. And the Evolution motors, even at 883, will blow away at 1000 iron head. So you're going to get a lot more power. If you get an 883, the conversion is very simple. They're roughly $1,000 to install yourself, depending on the quality of kit, which I don't recommend buying a lower quality kit because they're going to cause you problems. The cool factor on the iron head, you might want the long and skinny frame. You might want the narrow glide, which is the 35 millimeter. Also the 39 millimeters in narrow glide, but it's a lot more spindly. And yeah, there's just a coolness to having iron heads. It's a baby shovel head, and they're pretty easy to work on either way. They're not too bad. Anybody with a set of American tools can pretty much dig into it. The bottom end is a little bit tricky if you've never done it before, but thankfully on YouTube there's many videos about it. And why not to choose to buy a already chopped bike as your first bike is, when you're first starting out, you're not going to understand the intricacies of these bikes. These bikes, they have a little bit odd riding style. You have to be prepared for it, and especially like me, I don't run front brakes on anything. So you're going to need to have a firm grasp of motorcycling and defensive driving if you're going to want to build an iron head or an Evo with no front brake. Also, it beats the crap out of you. We can design them pretty well to where they're not as bad, but it's still nothing compared to a stock bike. So that's the reason why I would shy away. Also, your insurance companies, if they catch wind of it, if you wreck it, they probably don't like it. That's why you got to be upfront with them, but they might not even want to insure it if you're a new rider. And also, if you're starting out and you don't build an already bought bike, if you don't buy an already built bike, you can learn how to build it, enjoy that process. I mean, the main point of this video is, as you can see behind me, this is all custom fabricated by me. So it's not a huge deal to me whether or not what your bike it is. But for somebody just starting out, you'd like to be able to purchase parts that come right off the shelf and actually fit. And that would be why you would want to go with one of those later Evos. That would be my opinion. There's also Yamaha XS650s. Those bikes are pretty nice. I've never personally built one, but from what I've seen, they seem to be pretty good. Nice little bikes for a little bit less money. You can find Sportsters from anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 reasonably and not have too many problems with them. Now, you might be wondering, who's this kid? Why is he saying all this stuff? I'll put some pictures at the end of the video of the bikes that I've personally built and just show you. And that pretty much wraps up the video. Have a great day.